What is Islam?
To be in submission to Allah.
I mean, how did Islam spread so fast?
That did not happen benevolently. That did not happen benignly. That all happened with the sword.
The differences between Jesus and Muhammad.
Look at 4 references in the Quran. I'm going to take you to 4 references and ask the question, who is the greater, Muhammad or Jesus?
The textual integrity of both the Quran and the Holy Bible.
Their traditions are very clear that there was parts that were lost, some of it had been changed, others had been added to, and there's reference after reference after reference of the differences just between those 4 codices. So how can the Muslims claim that this book has never changed? They're not looking at their traditions.
Manuscript.
Muslims will say, yes, but you have corrupted. Here's what I do. Whenever they say we've corrupted our scripture, I ask 2 simple words. Where and when? Your Quran tells you over and over again to go back to those scriptures, to come back to our text, to come back to our New Testament, because they are signs for you.
Role of women.
You say to yourself, do you really feel that this book ennobles women? There are many Muslims that feel ennobled because they're not following this book. And living in the West, in Australia or in the UK, they follow many of the precepts that we are giving them. The whole idea of marriage, the fact that a woman has a choice in that marriage, that is uniquely Christian. Did you know that? So you see in marriage, you see in death, women are second class.
What is Christianity?
It's to acknowledge that God did come to earth, to acknowledge that He did die for you and me, to acknowledge that it was He that was on the cross, but He didn't stay on that cross. 3 days later, He rose again and destroyed death. That's all you have to acknowledge. Do you believe in Jesus Christ? Do you follow what He did?
Can God have a son?
Can son mean something else? Well, let me ask you, sir. Are you a son of Australia?
Definitely.
Do you have a biological relationship with Australia?
No.
Sonship there basically means relation. You're related to Australia.
Okay,
it means you're a citizen of Australia.
How can God become a man?
If Muslims even ask this question, they need to be shamed by it, because they're assuming that God can't do something you and I can't do.
Did Jesus die on a cross?
Jesus died. On the day He died, the sun went dark and the earth started shaking.
So even before Islam came into existence, there were people that were arguing this very point.
600 years before the Islam came into existence, people were admitting that that was Jesus that died. They had no doubt that that was Jesus that died. These were not Christians.
Why did He do that?
Death comes about from sin, which means everything was destroyed.
Why we die is what?
Because of sin. True peace. If you really want peace, and I know you do, I hear you all the time saying you want peace. Come on home to Jesus Christ. Come on home to His gospel. This truly is the gospel of peace, and it's for you.
The subject of violence.
As long as you know what Jesus did is your paradigm, is your model, you're going to get it correct.
Yes,
don't come back to Muhammad, because you know they can't confront us on this issue, because there are too many violent verses here. There are much too many examples of Muhammad's fightings. Prophet Muhammad, when you look and you see where Surah 61 ayah 6 says, and what Surah 7 157 says, you're going to have to ask yourself, where are you getting your authority from? And where does Muhammad get his authority if he cannot find it in the Bible?